Okay guys, I just want to go over what Coach Jim taught all of us at our hitting evaluations. Pretty much all the kids that were there on the team, with the exception of one or two, all got the same drill to practice at home. And pretty much all of last year you heard me yelling and trying to teach you guys to stay behind the ball. And Coach Jim was basically saying the same thing. He said a little bit different than I do. And you guys seem to take to it better, so I'm going to start using some of the words that he did. So every time we come to the plate, just like he said, we have to make sure we're square to the plate, which means our toes are in a nice straight line, which is parallel with the edge of the plate. So straight line, that's how we know we're in the proper hitting stance, okay, in the proper hitting place or position. Number two, we have to line up our knocking knuckles. I used to say point your fingers, but if you line up your knocking knuckles and you point your fingers, basically the same thing. And the whole key to that is it allows us not to roll over too soon or too late, but this is the perfect position, and it helps us keep the bat in our fingers and not in our palm, because when it's in our palm, we squeeze it too tight and we're not flexible enough. So it helps us to stay relaxed, and we're better hitters when we're relaxed, when the bat is in our fingers more so than in our palms. So we check our feet, we make sure our knocking knuckles are lined up. If you want to keep pointing the fingers, that's great. That's what I like to do. And number three was that when we load, which is your load step, the knob of this bat has to be pointing back towards the catcher, okay? We can't be here, we can't be here, we can't be here. We want to be here. Whatever happens before this position is different for everybody. Every pro hitter, every youth hitter, high school, they all do something a little different, but all good hitters, and we see this time and time again when we watch videos of professional players, they all get to this position right here. Okay, the hands are in the right place, the knob is pointing to the right place, our weight is just about all on our back side. This is our back side. The side that's towards the pitcher, if you're a lefty or righty, whatever side is towards the pitcher, that's your front side. The other side is your back side. So I'm right-handed, so my right leg is my back side. I want almost all my weight back here, because that's going to allow us the most important thing, which is what the drill that Coach Jim was telling us about, is keeping our weight back. I used to say staying behind the ball. We want to be behind the ball. That's where we want to hit it, out in front of the plate. That's where you want to hit it, out in front of the plate. We want to be behind the ball when we hit. So we're here, we take our load step, knob is pointed in the right place, most of my weight is here, we're behind the ball, and we can put a swing on it, okay? Look how I finish, with a stiff front leg, with a bent back leg, and my heel is over my toe. That's the key, because that rotation allows your hips to open up. Belt buckle pointing right towards the pitcher. Okay? Let's look at that again. So I know this is kind of a lot of step-by-step stuff, but when we put it all together, everybody's going to be a lot better hitter. So come to the plate, we get in our stance, our proper stance, take a few warm-ups, we check our hands, check our fingers, check our knuckles, however you want to put it. We take our load step, where's my knob pointing? Back towards the catcher. I take my stride, I stay closed when I take my stride, and I put a swing on the ball. Locked front leg, bent back leg, and my heel is over my toe, okay? The key to this front leg being locked is this swing that I'm making is generating a lot of force and a lot of power. And I want rotational power. I want to spin basically around my body. I don't want my swing to get too like this. We don't want to be, that's called being linear, on a line back and forth. We want to stay in the same place, and we just want to twist. That's when we get power, because by us twisting makes the bat go faster through the zone, and that's where your power comes from. Just about all the kids that Coach Jim noticed were getting like this on their front side, and that's bad. That makes our head move too much. That makes us not be able to hit a curveball or a changeup, because that's called being way out in front. Okay, it's very hard to hit because we're all arms once we get here. Our legs are done in the swing if we get to this position. So we want to stay behind the ball. Your head is always behind the ball when we hit. My head here, not behind the ball. So we have to make sure that we keep our weight back here. We step, we're behind the ball, and we put a good swing on it. And basically, if you do that, it's almost impossible not to end up in the proper position. So I think if we all fix our head position when we swing, being behind the ball, everything else is just going to kind of fall into place. So I'm going to stop it right here, but the other video that I'm going to do is the drill that he showed us, the waist swings. Alright, so good job. Make sure you guys are doing your practice. I'm going to be checking your homework.